Hi, everybody. Look who it is. Before we jump in, I got a few things to say to the audience. First off, I am still looking for more people for the Focus On. My email's at the top of the screen. If you wouldn't mind coming up, it's not that you're asking me to bring you up. You just don't mind. Add me. Let me add you to the list. I would love. There's a whole bunch of people that haven't been. Thank you, Matt. That haven't been interviewed yet. Dapper Dennis is here. Saint Stust is here. Benjamin Peters, Andy Carson. I mean, I could go on and on and on. There's a ton of people that haven't been on the list. In Lando, we're going to talk about that. The other thing was Dusty is here, and if one of the mods could please drop that link for Dusty's GoFundMe, we want to make sure we keep up on that. For anybody that doesn't know, they're having it's a bad thing. You really should just go read the GoFundMe link once it's posted. And lastly, if the mods wouldn't mind, please drop in Laura's link from time to time so people make sure they're subscribed to her. And I think that's everything. So the chat is going away. Oh yeah, and mods too. If you would please just remind people if they come in, if they're asking questions or whatever, just remember they can't see the chat, right? Because the chat is going away. All right, chat is gone. You can't see it either, right, Laura? Don't get distracted. No chat. Oh. That's the rule. It's just so easy to get distracted, because there's always so much fun stuff going on in the chat, and I love spending time in there. But then I end up reading that and not, talking to you. So hi, Laura.
Hello.
All right, so let's get started. Now you are in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, I'm near Altoona. It's about halfway between Harrisburg and Pittsburgh.
Okay, so more on the left side of the state, the west side.
Yeah.
Close to our friend Skipper.
Yes, Skipper is like 20-30 minutes from us.
Nice. I'm jealous.
Which we had no idea. LaToya and I showed up to Clash and we're like, hey, Skipper. And he's like, oh, where in Pennsylvania are you from? And we were just like, oh my God.
You're neighbors. You're almost neighbors. That's awesome.
Here we're neighbors. Yeah, because there's like nothing out here.
He's a good guy, that Mr. Skipper. And I would love to live closer so I could go hang out with him from time to time. But oh, well, at least he's got you guys. And have you lived in Pennsylvania your whole life? You know what? I'm going to say yes, because when we were talking before, you do have a little bit of the Pennsylvania O. I bet you've lived in Pennsylvania your entire life.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Born and raised. Different places in Pennsylvania, but yes.
Okay. I was going to ask that. So you've moved over the state, but you've always lived in Pennsylvania.
Correct. I actually live very close to where I grew up right now.
Yeah.
Because I actually met my husband when I was visiting my parents. But
nice.
When I first got out of college, I lived, a couple of different places.
Gotcha. And did you go to college in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to Juniata College. It's about an hour away from here. It's real close to Penn State, but smaller, pretty much you knew most of the people there kind of school.
Nice. And what did you go to college for?
I ended up graduating with like natural science and education, dual major. The reason it was natural science is I was kind of into chemistry and biology, and I was short one class for chemistry. So I actually took that after I graduated. So I almost kind of had a triple major pretty much.
Oh, gotcha. Wow. Man, there's way too many smart people in our community. I don't like it.
All the fish aquarium knowledge of water and stuff like that.
Well, that's definitely had to have helped, right? Now, when did you get into fish keeping too? Was it back then? Have you always been fishing?
Well, my mom was a math teacher and my dad was math and physics. So I kind of had science background there. And of course, I live out in the middle of nowhere. We had a creek behind our house. There, creek. And I was always catching critters and all kinds of stuff. And I think when I was like 13, I'm like, oh, I want an aquarium. And my parents actually got me one.
Nice. That's cool. Man, so you really, you're where you belong, it sounds like. I mean, that sounds like you found your niche, your niche you're where you belong with everything. And so, are you still really into, like, do you do anything with science today at all, really, other than the fish tanks?
No, not really.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I taught for a couple years at a school for a while and decided that wasn't for me.
No.
Wasn't the actual teaching, it was the politics.
Oh,
Like, had nothing to do with the kids. It was all like
that's what I was going to ask.
administration is
I was going to say it was the
no,
kids, wasn't it? It's just those damn kids.
it wasn't. And it was all administration stuff. And I just got into a bad situation and it just was horrible. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not like, you got to watch everything you say, everything you do. And I'm like, that's it. I'm done. This is
Yeah.
crap, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It just was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It just was ridiculous to, you know, especially, I know, you know, it sounds bad, but being a female.
Uh-oh. I didn't do that. Being a female, you said.
Oh, being female where I'm at out in the middle of nowhere made it in a male field made it even worse.
Gotcha.
So I
Okay.
was like, yeah, I've had enough of this. And then I did like a little bit of retail here and there, but then I had my kids and it was just like, yeah.
And now you have a business, right? With LJ Shrimp. Is it ljshrimp.com? What's your website? No. Weebly.
ljshrimp.weebly.com.
Yes. And if mods wouldn't mind dropping that link as well.
Yeah, it's more just to get money to spend more money for the fish stuff, you know?
Yeah. I get that. That's a cool way to do it, though. At least you've been smart about it. You know, you've been able to generate some cash instead of it just being a cash sink for you. So that's pretty smart.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I got computer knowledge, so I can do that easily. Knowledge of the shipping and everything. I learned a lot watching Grant Eater streams and stuff with the shrimp.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
I think a lot of people can say that. Grant and Shelby definitely, and they're really good about sharing that information too. That's what's so cool about those two. They don't hide the information. They're really open. If you've got questions about anything with shipping, anything to do with shrimp, you know, that's a good place to go. I love that.
yeah, he's great because you have any questions at all about breeding or trying to make something, he'll just tell you. Where like if you go overseas and stuff, they're like, oh, it's hush hush. I don't want to tell anyone how I did this and blah blah blah.
No, but he wants you to succeed.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that. We have a lot of people in our community. Most people in our community are that way. They want to share anything that they get, any type of information. That's what makes a community. I mean, if you're not sharing information, it's just silos. All right. Anyways, you mentioned your husband and you mentioned meeting him when you were visiting your parents. Why don't you tell us that story? How did you, so you were coming home to hang out with the parents and.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't very far away anyways. And I came home and I was helping out a little bit with the local band at the high school.
Oh, okay.
And we went to a parade just like 15 minutes from my house. And I was helping with the flag twirlers at the time. And he was helping run EMS. And they were in the parade too. And then afterward, there was like a festival at the parade. And he came up behind me in line getting funnel cakes and was like, oh, your eyes are so pretty. And
Oh. He got game.
I'm like, oh, you probably know my dad. He taught you in high school.
No. Yeah, that's a little weird. That wasn't he had game, but you not so much. I mean, saying, hey, you probably know my daddy. That's just, I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm a lot older than him. So
I see. All right.
yeah, he's 6 years younger than me. So I had a little
Wow.
another guy, and he was just like, oh.
And how long have you guys been together now?
Oh, we got married in 2000.
Okay. And kids?
Yeah, I have an older son who's a freshman in college at Pitt.
We talked about this.
Yeah, but everybody in the stream did it. And then my younger one is a junior in high school.
Okay. All right. And one of each or both boys?
Both boys. Yeah,
Okay.
which was totally messed up because I'm the oldest of 4 girls.
Ah, well, no, that's poetic justice. I mean, you gotta right the balance a little bit, you know?
My dad was happy.
Yeah, I bet. I only have one girl out of the three, and just for me, this is just me. I'm not saying girls are more difficult to raise, but for me, I had more difficulty with her than the boys. The boys were just very stoic and just very whatever. And yeah. Anyways, I want to get in trouble with people here.
When I had the first one, I picked him up and I said, "Oh, what do I do with this?" Because he was a boy, Totally different problems when they're babies too.
Yeah, yeah. It all works a little bit differently. There's an outie instead of an innie, and stuff like that.
You get a duck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nice. All right. So you guys have been married for 24 years. Well, it'll be 24 years this year, right? Gotcha. That's pretty good long time. That's a long time. Yeah. And you said does he still do the EMS stuff?
No, he doesn't do that anymore.
Okay.
He works, I don't know how much you understand the construction business, but they always have like a middleman. Like the people building the stuff don't buy directly from the suppliers.
Gotcha.
They go to someone and that person gets it from the suppliers.
Yeah.
He's started doing that, and now he's the regional manager for that company. So he runs Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, all that stuff.
Very cool. Nice. That sounds like a good living. Does he like it? It's not about him. I'm sorry.
That's why I don't work now, because he makes more than I could, and I have a college degree and everything.
Yeah.
Old rotten that way.
Yeah, that does sort of suck. You went to school for so long, and he just fell into that. Well, didn't fall into it, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Okay, so you know what? We're just going to dive into this right away too, because I feel like this is a big part of who you are, as your friendship with LaToya. You guys are very close friends. You have been for ever. For how long?
No, not long at all.
No.
We both had the kind of personalities that we have lots of acquaintances, but don't really have like good friends.
Yeah.
And with the kids all through high school and stuff, you meet and talk to lots of parents, but I never really, connected with any of them or anything. So I have my college girls, which we get together with every year, but I never really had any like true close friends other than that.
Yeah.
And with the kids starting to get older now, you're not around as much. And I was selling some plants and I put them on a local site from my aquarium, and she stopped to get some. And here she works just up the road from me at the ski resort. And my husband's like, "Oh, she's in the aquarium. You two should hang out." And then I guess we talked a little bit back and forth in Messenger. And then we stopped and she got something off me or I got something off of her. And my husband's like, "Come on, you two gotta hang out. You two gotta hang out." So we're like, "All right, let's do something aquarium." And then we went to we found two clubs. We're kind of halfway between Pittsburgh and Lancaster.
Okay.
So we actually joined both clubs, and there's not really an official club up Williamsport, but there's like a group to go to swaps and stuff up there too.
Oh,
so
nice.
We started going to this all stuff, and now we're like besties. We go to stuff all the time, and we're comfortable around each other. Like it's very hard for me, and I know she's the same way, to really be comfortable around someone.
Understood. Yeah.
And I feel that way. I feel the same way around her as I did for my college besties. So it's great.
That's awesome.
We just hang out and go everything together.
That's great. And your husband is very smart man for recognizing, because not a lot, but some people would be like, "No, I want to keep you all for myself," but he realized that there was probably something missing in your life, a good friend like that. And that's very important. My wife is my best friend, but it's important to have friends outside of the relationship. So that's good that he recognized it and gave you a little push. Do you feel like you would have still been friends even if he didn't give you the little push to go?
Probably maybe, but probably not as likely, because he was pushing pretty good. Like, "Oh, talk to her. You need to do something." He knows I'm not good. Like I said, I'll talk to lots of people and hang out with lots of people, but not like feel real comfortable and stuff. A little bit of social anxiety type thing. Her and I are we're like, cool, we got each other's backs and stuff.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's, it's so important. I'm honored to have a few friends like that these days too, and I know exactly how important that means. So that's very cool. Good job, Latoya. Okay.
Yeah, he's always being like, fish friends, and taking silly pictures of the two of us. And all.
That's cool. That is cool. Man. Sorry, I just looked at myself for the first time. I'm very red. I don't know if it's something with the thing or. All right, if like one side of my face starts to droop or something, just give me a heads up, would you? I shouldn't make jokes about that. Okay, so man, we're flying through some stuff already. So wait, let's talk about jobs though. Again, let's go back to that because you were talking about you did a little bit of teaching. What other type of stuff? Even before college, did you have jobs like when you're in high school and things like that, or did you just focus on school?
When high school, I was in, being a science math person, I was in pretty high level classes, but I also played 3 different sports. I played volleyball, basketball, and softball. So I ended up being like a scholastic athlete for my senior year and stuff.
Wow.
So that I did play a little bit like part of a year in college, but it was too hard being a science major because you have labs like 4-hour labs and stuff during days. And if I had the ability to do labs on different days because I was good with what I did. But then if I miss practice, I can't play in a game. But then I miss the game, it's kind of those things. So I couldn't really do the sports much in college and stuff. Now, I did end up coaching both my boys' 5th and 6th grade teams. So that was 4 years coaching them. They couldn't find a coach to do it.
What sport was it?
Basketball.
Oh, okay.
And
nice.
The older one played football too. Now the younger one's not playing sports anymore, but in a couple weeks here, he's starting his EMT certification.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he'll be, and it's not the local one. It's for, the whole US and stuff. So that's pretty impressive for a junior in high school.
Yeah. So is he thinking career route there? Is that something maybe he wants to lean towards,
He's really not sure yet. Like he's always wanted to work on cars, but he gets like straight A's in all of his like high algebra classes and all kinds of stuff. We're like, he kind of needed to do a little more something. So he is running with the fire department right now and doing a lot of classes and stuff for that. He finished all those classes except he wasn't allowed to do the burn class yet when he took it because he was only 16.
Oh, gotcha.
But next time it comes up, he'll be able to do that. And now he's getting his EMT. So we'll see how he likes it. Maybe he'll want to go medical something, or he hasn't really decided yet. He's more of a homebody, so.
Oh, I understand that. Now, is Skipper in that same part? Does he ever see Skipper at any of the stuff that he does? Or is that a different district or whatever?
He's in different school district, but our teams would have played each other.
No, I meant with the EMT stuff with Skipper.
Oh, I don't know if they'd have much interaction with them or not.
Yeah, it's probably far enough away that there's probably not.
Yeah, I think it's more by county, and he would be a different county.
Okay. I just wondered.
But that's not saying they might have something that they might run into each other somewhere.
Yeah, one of the fireman games or something.
Yeah.
Do they do those fireman games? Do they do those down there? Yeah, I thought so. I think
like the class he's taking for EMTs at one of the local hospitals is probably one of the closer ones, things like that.
Gotcha. Okay. We're all over the place on the map here. Let's talk about, no, it's not you, it's me. Let's talk about hobbies other than your fish tanks and everything. Is there anything else? You mentioned computers and stuff, but that's not really a hobby, right? Do you have anything else? Oh, okay. A PC gamer?
I play World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Which is pretty,
Yeah.
And that's my main one. And Ark, which is a survival dino game. I'm really into that right now because the new stuff just came out. And I've played a couple other like mega games.
All the MMO stuff, though. You're not really
all the MMO stuff, right?
Yeah. And do you do a lot of socializing in those games as well? Do you have like guilds and stuff that you're into?
Like,
friends?
I have friends on there. They're probably some of my closest friends I have. I just never actually met them. Kind of like some of the Fishfam people,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. I
We played
understand.
together and hung out together and seemed
I
kind of fun.
understand. I did the same thing. In fact, we played Asheron's Call, which was an MMO in the late 90s. 98, I think, is when it started. But we played it up until like 2008, and made some very good. One of my best friend in the whole world is from that game. Um, so I understand how that goes. And I do sort of miss the MMOs. World of Warcraft was fun. I did play it for a little bit. I've never played Ark because that by the time it came out, I was done. I was done with playing games with people. I don't like. I play solo games these days. The Witcher 3 and Fallout, and just all the single player stuff. I don't care to. I don't want to socialize when I'm gaming. I just don't.
Well, for me, I actually started playing World of Warcraft when I had my first kid. So I stuck at home with a baby, napping a lot, but off and on, and I had like hardly any adult interaction and stuff. So that gave me like my adult interaction.
I remember those. Yeah, I remember Michelle, me coming home, and she just wanted to have an adult conversation because it was all cartoons all day long and just baby talk, and yeah. So I could see how that would be a good outlet for people at home, and it was a fun game. I did enjoy it, but I also have a little bit of an addictive personality, so I started noticing myself getting too involved, and I needed to step back, and then I just quit. So gaming, and mostly MMOs, and no consoles, or just PC only. Those are all.
No, I actually just got a whole brand new rig for Christmas. So
Okay. Oh, nice.
I actually had to buy it to play the new Arc because I thought I just needed a new video card, but I needed a whole new processor and everything. So that was like, there goes all my money.
And did you build it yourself, or did you build or buy it pre-made?
No, I was just going to get a new card. I can do that, and replace that. But I needed the whole CPU and all that stuff. So I was like, well, I'm just going to get one, with what I have, what I want in it.
Yeah.
Made.
Yeah. And I know we do have quite a few in our community too, that Stephen got his youngest son, got his son Zachary a PC that they built together. And they're big gamers too. And there's quite a few gamers in our community. Are you on the Discord server too, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Because there is a gaming channel there, and they do talk about stuff from time to time. So you should check it out, because sometimes Scotty's looking for the Clash of Clans, the mobile game. He really wants everybody to do that, and there's some other stuff. So a lot of mobile games, I think. A lot of casual.
A little more high end than that.
Yeah, I same here. They're okay, but they're good time wasters. But I would prefer to play something a little bit deeper myself. What about other hobbies? Is there anything else that you really enjoy doing with your time? You mentioned nature before. Do you really get out in nature these days?
I don't get out as much as I used to. I have a lot more allergies than I used to. We do have like a permanent campsite about an hour away from here. We go out there sometimes as a creek along the road, get four-wheeling and all that stuff. So I don't really do too much other than that. And now all the fish stuff I'm going to, which is nice, because I was sports. It was my oldest one was in football and basketball, and of course nowadays they play all summer too.
Gotcha.
And now he's out of the house. So I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to do all of a sudden,
It becomes a hobby then, just going to all the games and practices and stuff. It does. At the camp, do you tent camp, or is there like a trailer there? Is there?
I grew up constantly tent camping.
Yeah.
Because my parents were both teachers, so we didn't have a lot of money, and they had to take classes and stuff. So we would go tent camp. So my parents and 4 girls, and I'm the oldest. The youngest one's 7 years younger than me. So she was, pretty good bit younger than me. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to do this. Going in porta potties as a female is not fun. So when we got this place, we got an RV, and now, of course, eventually, once you get one, you're like, oh, we need to upgrade this. So it's pretty much nicer than my house now.
That's funny. See, because I never experienced that until I moved to the Northeast. When we went, I never heard anybody say we're going camping. And then like here, there's basically trailer parks filled with little fifth wheels and campers and stuff and RVs that are, it's a trailer park basically, but it's camp. People go to camp. And when I lived in Arizona, you went camping, most of the time, if it was summer or whatever, you just go out there you don't even have a tent. You just go out with your sleeping bag and, you sleep under the stars because it's still going to be, pretty warm at night. I know people think desert gets cold. Not that desert. It would still be pretty warm in the middle of the night. So, it was just different to me when people said camp because I was like, this isn't camp. We just went to a different trailer park. You're in a trailer park, but
Yeah, this is like half permanent sites. Like some of them have been in different families for generations and stuff.
Gotcha.
And my husband and a bunch of his buddies, all got together and decided, oh, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And we'd go out for holiday weekends, and it wasn't much more money to just get a full-time permanent spot. So
Gotcha. It's still cool. I mean, you're still going out there and doing stuff. It was just different for me when people said, well, what, you want to go camping this weekend? I was like, yeah, it's been a long time. And then, we pull up and I was like, what do I need to bring? And they're like, oh, nothing. And we pull up and there's like a bed for me, and it was weird, but I got used to it. And nowadays, no, I'm not in a tent. If I did, that would be it. I'm done. I'm not getting up again because I'm stuck on the ground. So nowadays I could see the joy of an RV, my wife would definitely not go camping in any other way. So, okay. Any other hobbies? Do we get them all? Anything else that you really like to do with your spare time?
Puppies.
Are they there?
I can show you the one.
Please. Doggies. Look at that sword. Is that an Amazon sword? Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a big mother sword.
Yeah. That is a beautiful plant.
Oh, older one. This is Poncho.
Hi, Poncho. Oh, Poncho.
I just got one. He's 6 months old now. A smaller one that's darker colored, Chihuahua.
Oh.
So he has someone to hang out with. These are my babies. And it was funny because the second one was supposed to be my husband's, but guess what? It's always with me. I had to separate them because when they start playing, they start growling and barking at each other, and I don't want them doing that on the stream.
Yeah, Chihuahuas. They sound like they're really mean, but they're really not. We've got a Chihuahua as well, but she's half Papillon, so she's got the big fluffy ears, I don't know. She's the troublemaker in the family. But Wally, you've seen Wally probably. Wally's a lot bigger than like 5 times her size, and she puts him in his place. I mean, if he starts doing something and acting up, and being crazy, she'll start barking at him and yelling at him. Hey, calm down. You can totally tell that's what she's doing. She's like, no, stop what you're doing. Excuse me.
I don't think he's full blood Chihuahua. There's these little chunkers. And the other one's the real skinny, tall type.
Yeah, and maybe a little like some kind of terrier or something.
Yeah, I think he has a little bit of terrier in him.
Yeah.
But it's nice because he's more of a cuddler, and the other one's just all legs. But he's still young, so.
Gotcha. I love my doggies. Sorry, people. Just anytime somebody says they got dogs, I want to see. I'm just a big dog fan. I love them.
I used to have a cat, and when it passed away, my husband was like, "You're not getting another cat," so he got me a Chihuahua, which isn't a big difference. So.
No, not really. It's just it's a lot easier for the bathroom trips. You don't have to be cleaning out that cat box every day. Sorry to cat people.
I don't know. Chihuahuas don't like going outside in the snow, though.
See, 11 absolutely loves it. But again, she's got a longer fur, but she loves going out in the snow. We've got pictures of her where, her whole chest is just covered with little chunks of snow on her fur, She likes going out in the snow. Oh, not always, though. But when she doesn't have her boots on, she'll go out in the snow. And when she's done, she'll just stop. She won't come back. You have to go pick her up because she's like, no, I'm not moving. This is what I'm doing. I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm sitting here, and you got to pick her up and bring her in. So
this guy, he'll go out and he'll just pee on the deck and come right back in. The younger one is still learning. So we're working on that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
This one also will go on the pee pad.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. That's good that they've learned that.
So
Hi,
he's really good with
Pancho.
that.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. We talked about the hobbies. We talked about did we get into the different jobs? You said we talked a little bit about it. Let's see. We talked about you were a coach for a while for the kids. You taught. Did we get? Was there anything else in there?
In college, I had a couple of different, over the summer, you get different jobs.
Yeah.
Worked at a restaurant as a waitress. I sucked at it. Didn't last there long. Just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
I'm good at figuring out stuff and numbers, but I don't have a real good like memory for like stuff like that, like quick, short term.
Okay.
Not if I remember something, it's something that I'm going to use and it's important.
Gotcha.
Like if it's something that I'm not going to use, I'm just like yeah. Like if it's something I can look up or figure out, it's like, why do I want to learn that? Because I could just figure it out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
gotcha. Yeah. It does make sense.
Brain kind of thing,
Yeah. I don't need that, so I know where to get it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I wasn't very good at that. I worked at a campground, like checking people in and stuff. That was a great job for a college student because I worked like 4 to midnight. And that was like,
nothing
perfect.
going on.
I don't want to get up in the morning and I can work late. And then I actually go grocery shopping afterwards, which was sweet.
Yeah. Nobody around.
And then, of course, my older years in college ended up like teaching a class in college and stuff like that. Lab.
What did you teach?
Well, my junior year, I ended up just lab assisting. So the professor would give you like the lab and you'd mix up all the chemicals beforehand and everything for the students. And then I was actually the first person to ever TA for the college, like under a professor. And I actually taught like freshman science lab. So I taught like all the safety stuff, like don't do this, don't do that, the stuff everybody knows is real simple. And they did a section on computers and how to type up like lab reports. And I helped with that too.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, all stuff in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I actually taught the safety section and they divided them into smaller groups and rotate them around. So I was teaching the same thing, like the week-long lesson, like 4 times in a 4 weeks in a row.
Gotcha. So you definitely got to know that material.
Yeah. I mean, it's stuff you mostly know anyways. It's a lot of common sense, but you know.
Do you think you could still teach that today just without hardly any brush up? Like you could go teach the same class just like that? Yeah.
I'm good at that. I was always good. For as awkward as I sometimes am, like I don't like to leave the house. So I'm a kind of introvert that way. But I can get up and talk to a bunch of people and I have no trouble with that. Yeah. Like when the kids were in basketball, they would run their big halftime for money where they'd like throw out ducks and try to get them in the center and things like that. And I go out and announce the winners in front of like a packed gym and stuff. Like stuff like that doesn't bother me. But it's like a lot of one-on-one stuff. Afterwards, I'll be like, should I have said that? Should I not have said that? Getting me out of the house is the first step. Once I'm out, I'm usually okay.
I get that. And so would that be an introverted extrovert?
Yeah.
Extroverted introvert, maybe.
Because I actually have a shirt that says introverted, but we'll talk about shrimp. Because it is kind of an introvert. Because I don't want to get out. Like you have to get me to get out and do something.
Yeah.
But I have no trouble talking in front of people.
Yeah.
Like
I'm the same.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, definitely the same. But I guess I'm a little different because I need to step away from it. Like I can go talk to anybody. I can talk in front of a crowd and I can do okay with all that kind of stuff. But I just need to recharge my battery. I need to get away from it, after a time and just sort of recharge my batteries. It does take a lot out of me. Like it's emotionally draining. It's physically draining. So it's something I need to get away from after a certain amount of time. Recharge my batteries with like rum or something like that, to get me back on track, which would definitely help at the Keystone Clash, which again, Laura's already signed up, already registered and everything. Latoya as well, right?
Yeah, we're going to share a table again. That just, it works out so nice having both
Yeah.
of us there, because that way we can both look at everything. We're both at the table. It was awesome.
Yeah. But the registrations are open. It's an early bird right now for January. Hotel rooms are going quick, I guess I've heard. So if you want to go, and again, it's the only event I've been to, so I really don't have a lot to compare it to. But I have a blast every single year. It's just so much fun, and every single year it's gotten a little bit better. And I just think this year is going to be, through the roof.
Oh,
Okay,
we had so much fun doing everything there. I actually didn't get to listen to any of these speakers. I was so busy and looking at so much other stuff. But we had the table, we were selling stuff, we were buying stuff, looking at stuff. I got to meet all my other shrimp breeders. We entered the competition. We both won awards.
Yes. Yes, I remember. You got quite the cheer, I felt a little bad in some ways because people we didn't know in the community, didn't, be like, yay. And then people we did know in the community, like yourself, because we had met you and, we sort of knew you already, but other people in the community too was like just cheering. And even when they announced who the sponsor was, and if it was somebody from the community, it was like loud cheers. And then the person would win. They're like, yay. I felt a little bad for some of the people. And maybe next year we need to cheer loud for everybody so that those people who won awards don't feel like, wow, nobody even cared. You know what I mean? So.
And then it was kind of chintzy too, because if you won 2 awards in a row, they were just like, Laura Walters for second, third. Next.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Now, are you going to enter again this year then?
Oh yeah, definitely. And different kinds of stuff. Like that was the first time we ever entered in anything like that.
Nice.
And we were looking around. We're like, man, we could have won this. Latoya and I both. We could have won this. We could have won this. She only brought 1 fish, and I just bought shrimp and snails and a killifish. And that was my first. I just started doing killifish for the first time in the spring, and I got 3rd place in that. And we were like, man, we have some nicer fish than some of the other people that entered here. We're definitely going to bring a lot more next time.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it. I thought about bringing this Bozeman eye that's down here because I absolutely love him and he's just always so fired up. I'm worried though. I don't want to bring him and have something happen to him. I just feel like, I don't know. It just feels like it's very stressful for the fish, and I worry. I would hate to lose that guy because I just absolutely love him.
Why did that happen? I lost my female killifish. He killed her. And I wasn't the only one. That a couple killifish did that. But I have a semi solution for that for next year. You're not really supposed to put anything in the tanks, but I think like beforehand and stuff, if you've seen people breed bettas, they take a 2-liter and cut the middle out and put the ring around the female so the male can't get her. Like it's totally clear, you can't see it, and they'll both be there for people to look at, but he can't get to her.
Gotcha. And will they allow you to do that during it too, or no? You'd have to take it out during the show itself.
I'm going to talk to Scotty about that.
Yeah.
But because like I said, I wasn't the only one that had killifish that happened to. There was a bunch of people, but it's more a killifish association because they were actually doing that section. Yeah. But at least I can have her protected before and after that way.
Yeah. Plus, they might get used to each other enough. That's like with bettas, right? That's why they do it, because after a certain amount of time, they'll go ahead and remove it and let them spawn. And so maybe it'll be long enough to do the show. It's got to help.
Better than him just munching her up and killing her. So.
Yeah, I'm not worried too much about that part of it, but just losing my fish because the trip down, which isn't that far for us. We're only 5.5 hours. We're like due north. We're due north. You go almost straight up, and that's right all the way to the water. And that's where we're at. So, okay. Let's think about let's talk about your your website and about your channel and all that kind of stuff. Do you have like any real goals, or is there anything you want to, because you said the website right now is really just to help you alleviate some of the costs and keep going, right? That's really the main, to help your hobby.
Right. Like right now, I even put a note on there. I'm kind of off until spring. Just because I did so good at Clash and, really well, and I've been going to all these swaps and stuff, my numbers are like way down. And the only thing I really have a ton of, which is actually kind of amazing, is Cardinal Silhouette shrimp.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're kind of
Yeah.
hard to keep. But you can't, they got to have 84 degrees. So you can't like ship them out or send them around in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't send them right now, even though I do have a bunch of them. So it's kind of on hold till spring till I get my numbers up and it warms up a little bit, that kind of thing. Because I don't want to bother with all the heat packs and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
And
I get it.
so yeah, I've always liked computer stuff. I've been really always naturally good at that. I think I had my first computer when I was like, really little, because my mom got a job part-time. I don't know if it was between my two sisters or right after the oldest sister. So I was pretty young, probably like between 8 and 10. She brought her first computer home. It was a Texas Instruments, and the kind where you had to write your own game before you could play it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Was it no, Texas Instruments wouldn't have been a Trash 80. That was a Tandy. But yeah, I do remember. Did you?
Yeah.
You get like the basic magazine.
Yeah, and it had all the coding in it.
Yeah. You type, and then you miss one thing, and it doesn't work right, and yeah, it was a pain. It would take you 5 days to type it in.
Yeah, so it was my first experience with the computers. So I've always been kind of a natural with computers, and I think that's probably a lot of the math background because it's programming, and math. It's all logical type stuff, kind of similar. Sure. So I've always been in computers. So that's why I'm in the gaming and stuff, and like doing a website, and like I just enjoy doing that. So like putting pictures on the website, and it's more even to show people what I have, more than a selling site, that kind of thing. Gotcha. And that's with the YouTube channel. I don't really do regular videos or anything, but I'll hey, I'll be talking about this. And I'm like, oh, well, I need to put that up on the YouTube site just so people can see. Like I know right now, I haven't done many updates yet, but I have an interview with Skipper. So I'm kind of on hold. And I need to get the new rack in there with the new killifish. And I did a 20-gallon with like breeder boxes in it for all the killifish babies. So nice. I'm going to that on and too, just so people can see what I did, kind of thing.
Do you have a favorite of the killifish? Is there a specific one that you like the most? I've always been partial to the blue Galaris. I really would like to get some of those.
I was just going to say, I got a male blue Galaris at the last swap for $10, and he is gorgeous.
Yeah.
He's huge, and I want a female now so bad. He's so big.
Yeah.
My other ones are pretty big, but he's huge. I just like doing the babies. Like I love shrimp. That's my favorite. But being able to like pick the eggs and raise the little babies is kind of cool, where the shrimp just kind of take care of themselves type of thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. They're on my short list.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oops, sorry.
It was me.
I'm really now I got these Silhouette shrimp. Like I think they're my favorite right now. And I know Grant wants me to get into breeding competitions, but I love the Silhouette ones, and they're endangered and everything. So it's great to have. So I'm really starting to get into like that environment. Like I want to get another tank of theirs. Of course, I have to wait till the weather warms up. And I got some fish from there now too, from the same area. And I started keeping them, and I'm having luck with them too. And most of them are endangered, or at least,
What were the fish from the area? What kind of fish?
Well, I got some blue rice fish, which they're not endangered or anything like that.
Yeah, but still beautiful though. Absolutely love them.
I got half beaks from Silhouette, and they are endangered. And I got 5 at Clash. And I was like, oh, these are so cool. They look like little baby pikes, really. I never had anything like this before. It's something totally new. And about a month ago, I ended up with 20 babies.
Ooh, nice.
And right now I have 2 adults left. I think that they were wild caught. So first of all, you don't know what age they were or anything like that.
Yeah,
Plus, males can get aggressive with each other. And even though they say it's easy to tell male and females, I don't think it's that easy.
Gotcha.
And I know between 10 and 15 babies still, and we just moved them back to the adult tank. So, and they're
nice. Nice. And are you looking to get rid of those at a swap or something coming up, or are you going to build up?
A little bit of both, because I did read that they usually only have a good amount of babies at younger years. As they get older, they don't have as many. And of course, I'm in the clubs, and I want BAP points for them too. So you got to take 6 in for that, and that would give someone else a chance to start breeding them too. Because I guess I don't know. I found them at Clash. They had 2 different kinds of hack beaks, and of course, I wanted the ones from Sulawesi because I kind of was into that. And I guess they're not as common.
So you picked right. Well, I mean, it's hard to pick wrong, but yeah.
I recently got a whole basement room. So I did a huge shrimp rack, which I made myself. That was a lot of work, but I did it. And so I did that. And now I want to do like another rack of Sulawesi shrimp and some fish and stuff, like a little corner.
Nice. And did you document that trip too with making the rack and stuff? I did like a general video, but I did it the exact same way Grant Eater did his video. Oh, okay.
But because I never did it before, like I screwed up stuff, which made it a lot harder. Like I started the first time I did it, used cheap screws and didn't realize when I got better screws later that it's a whole lot easier if you use better screws and quicker. And then like I actually cut the one beam too short. So when I went to put the tank on, it was a little too short. So I had to recut those beams. But now that I know how to do it, I think it's a bit easier. But it was a lot of work. But I was very proud of myself after I did do it.
Are you handy like that all the time? Have you always been handy with building that kind of stuff, or not really?
Well, I told you my dad had 4 girls, and I was the oldest. So I was the one that did the hunting and the fishing. We built a 20 by 20 living room on our house, because we didn't have a whole lot of money growing up with all of us. So anything we did ourselves. I remember mixing cement, for concrete blocks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Redoing the roof.
You definitely have a background in it, a history in it. Yeah. So you came by. That's good. I wish we would have done more stuff like that. We taught the kids stuff, with vehicles and different things. But I did do construction work, but it was a long, long time ago. It's not about me. Let's keep going. I do that too often because I just want to share. I want to share what we have in common, but then I end up talking about myself, and it's not about me. It's about you. Skipper, you said you were going up on Skipper soon. Is that this Sunday, or when is that going to?
This Sunday.
Okay.
Because you asked me, and then I'm like, he talked to me, and I said, well, I got to get back to Rico first, and then we got rescheduled, and Skipper's like, oh, you're still going to do me? So I'm actually doing him Sunday now.
Okay. Yeah, phrasing. And I do apologize. I did get sick that time, so having to reschedule. But it was nice that you came up here first, because I said Latoya's already tainted. She's been with Skipper. No, it's just not going to be the same. It's just not. When Skipper gets them first, it's just no fun.
Yeah, but he has the local advantage. So
He does. And of course, I'm joking. Skipper's my friend. So, okay. We got about 10 minutes or so before we open it up to the chat. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that, you feel is like a part of you, or something that's happened in your life that has sort of shaped you into the person that you are today? Something really good, something bad, anything like that was big that we just didn't touch on?
One big thing, like we talked about Latoya and I being good friends, but one of the other biggest things in my life is even though I ended up not using my degree really, because my husband, ended up being construction business. It is stupid, but
taking care of business.
I met my best friends there, and we've been lifetime friends forever. And we try to get together every year. We're all throughout Pennsylvania, Maryland, in the area. Of course, different. They've lived in other states, other places too. But right now we're kind of like that. So we're getting together, and next summer it's going to be we're all turning 50 this year.
That's it.
We usually get together and try to do a little something, but we're going to get like a house and like spend the whole weekend together together. It'll be fun. It'll be great. And those girls are just the best thing ever happened to me.
Oh.
If anything happens, I know, they're there. Or if they have trouble, they know I'm going to be there. That kind of thing.
That's so important, and not a lot of people have that in their lives. So you're a lucky person to have the good friends and to have those people. When you guys do get together, does everybody make it? Oh, you're looking at chat, cheater, cheater. That- when you guys get together, does everybody make it most of the time, or is there anybody that have people dropped off throughout the years, or is it still a pretty good group of people?
Yeah, it's the same group that's always together. Sometimes one of us, like when I first had my kids, the other ones didn't all have kids yet. Like I'm one of the older ones. So they were still getting together some, which I couldn't make some.
Yeah.
And one of the girls has a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old right now. Yes,
Wow. Wow.
So it's a lot harder for her to get away now.
Yeah.
Or before. She had a great life though. I mean, she's lived in like California, Hawaii, all different places. So now she finally settled down and has kids and getting to enjoy all that stuff too.
I guess it's smart, and it's not like 50 isn't that old anymore. So it's not like, I guess that makes more sense. At first, I was like, man, that's got to be tough to be older to raise young kids. But man, if you've been able to do both, you've gone out and had just a great life, and then had the kids at still a young enough age to to get them to adulthood and a little beyond, then that's the best.
Because I'm like, you're gonna have the senior discount and not have to play to all the sports and stuff.
That's funny.
That's another thing. That's where LJ comes from, because my middle name's Jean, and the college girls mostly call me LJ.
Oh,
so
okay.
Not pretty either.
I just assumed it was something along those lines, with Laura being your first name. I just assumed, and I do apologize again for I called you LaToya like twice, didn't I?
You're not the only one, because we're always together now when we go to fish stuff.
Yeah, but I knew. I mean, once we had met at the Clash, I knew, but it still, for some reason, just stuck in my head. I don't know, and I still cannot get LaToya's channel name right. I messed it up again today. I messed it up. I was talking about it
all the time.
Yeah, same here. I do too. You do too. And she explained, about the kids and everything, but it's still okay. I think now's a good time. Let me go ahead and open up the chat and get this going here. Even though you've been cheating and looking at the chat, you cheater.
I just glanced over and saw, holy cow, and it was Dee.
I had no idea that you were looking at the chat, so you did a good job of doing that. Okay, first thing I see when I open up the chat is Priscilla, and we have not seen Priscilla in so long. Hi, Priscilla. Before we even jump into it, it's very good to see you. It is. It's been forever. I know you've gone through a lot of changes in your life over the last, couple of years, but it's good to see you, Priscilla. I miss those Wednesday night streams. She used to paint. She's a very very talented artist, like so many. You can't see them, but they're above these tanks here. I've got a bunch of her artwork, and she used to do these art streams where the camera. She had a camera. And then she had a camera looking down while she was creating the art, and it was just a fun stream. And okay, all right, now please, again, everybody, do the @RicoStan so it pops out to me. I did happen to get Benjamin Peters there too, and I'll read the questions to you, because if we both start reading them, then we'll be speaking all over and we might miss them. So you see it though. So go ahead. Which faction of WoW do you role play?
He should guess and say, what kind of class do I play? Tank, DPS, or healer?
See, I would know. Which one do you play?
Mm-hmm.
You play a tank.
Am I tank, DPS, or healer?
I think you're a tank.
I'm healer.
Oh.
I've played a healer since...
I was way off.
Wrath. Because I did play BC and... was a DPS. My first tune ever was a Warlock, and I love it. Still have the tune, but I got tired of never being able to find groups because I was a DPS, and played tank for like a month, and they talked me into playing healer, and I've been a healer ever since then.
And for
the Horde.
For the Horde. And for anybody who doesn't know, DPS is damage per second, right? So it's the guys who do the most damage super quick. A tank can take all the damage, and a healer is self-explanatory. So, okay. Next up is Mark Stilson. Hi, Mark. I hope you're having a good day, sir. The Myrtle question, please. So the Myrtle question is, what would you change about me, and what would I change about you? It's a very difficult, it's a very difficult question. It's, it gets easier the more you get to know somebody, and I don't feel like I know you super well yet. It's a very difficult question. A lot of times I skip out on it because I feel like there isn't much I could change about the person because they seem genuinely, I can never say that word, genuinely happy. And you seem like one of those people. You seem like you're in a good place in your life. You've got a great partner. You've got a lot of good friends. You've got great kids that are doing well. You've got 2 dogs. I mean, those, I would actually put those top. Those would be my first thing. Everything else comes below. But just from little bit that we've talked and interacted at the Clash and stuff, I don't know that there's anything that needs to be changed about you. I just don't know it. I'm sure there's stuff.
Yeah. We haven't known each other that long.
Yeah. How about this? The anxiety that comes from more of the one-on-one speaking. I would take that away from you going forward. So you know what it used to feel like, and you know how other people can feel that way, because that'll help your empathy, right? You realize, right. Man, I remember I used to feel that way. So you're going to be even better at speaking to those people because you know how uncomfortable they might be. So that's it. That's what I would change about you. Take it away from you for the future.
That would be wonderful. Because I think back sometimes, and a lot of that stems, and I don't want to get too into it, is my last teaching experience was really bad. They didn't want me there. They did everything to get rid of me. And I couldn't do anything right. Like, they tell me to do something and then I do it and they're like, you shouldn't have done this, kind of thing, just to get me to quit.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And I think that created most of that. And I think back to the girls like from college and stuff. And when they knew me, I wasn't like that at all. So, and Latoya's really helped a lot because now we're getting out once, sometimes twice a month, not so much in the winter right now, but at least, and going out and going to clubs or shows or whatever. So that's great. Yeah.
Back to that Latoya person. It's good. Everybody should have a Latoya in their life. Everybody should, or a Laura in their life. I meant just that good friend. Right. It makes life so much better when you have that person that is always going to have your back no matter what. Okay. Oh, it jumped and there was a whole bunch of questions. Okay, here we go. Next one up is, and again, I might be missing questions. The next one up I got is from Jenna, is the Freaky Friday question. If you asked your question before that, I missed it. So please do the @RicoStan so it pops out for me and I can see it. And Freaky Friday question. So you know what Freaky Friday is, right? The movie Freaky Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to change, not you, maybe. The choice is yours. What 2 people in the Fish Fam would you like to see change bodies for a weekend or for a week or a short period of time? It could be you and somebody else, or it could be just 2 other people, whatever. Told you, they're good questions. They ask some good questions. So it's my favorite part of the show because they do such a great job.
That's a good question.
Nothing come to mind. That's okay too. If nothing really stands out that you would change.
Tim to switch with someone, Crypt Keeper, because he's so shy and quiet. And one of our goals at Clash was to get him really out and about.
Yeah.
And we made a point of like almost embarrassing him, like getting him to talk to people and do stuff. So maybe you and him could switch for a day and he could be a little more outgoing. And then you could just kind of compensate for him and get like his physicalness a little more outgoing. Tim and Grant would be a good one too.
Tim is a good guy.
Shy and quiet.
Yeah.
And I know from gaming, I know a lot of guys like that. And for some reason, they're comfortable around me because I'm not a girl. I'm more like mom.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Like I can talk to them and they're like, come on, get out, do some stuff. We'll have fun kind of thing.
You know, it's funny that you brought that up because I watched a video. I used a video for a short from the Keystone Clash where we were just panning around the room when we were getting ready to do the picture, and everybody was in there, right? Did you guys miss the picture?
Yeah,
I feel like you did. Yeah. Yeah. Next year, this year, we'll make sure you're.
We were so busy with all the stuff, the show and the competition and all that stuff.
Well, we're going to make sure you're in it this year. But I'm panning around the room with my phone, and I see Tim, and he's against the wall, just sort of had his hand behind his back. He just sort of leaning there, and he's such a great guy. He's a neighbor of mine. He's not too far. I mean, it's probably 2 hours away from me, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
Yeah, the toy and I made a point when we were going to Clash. We're like, we're going to get him to open up, and we're going to include him and everything, and make him be more outgoing. And we're totally going to embarrass him and get him out there.
But he works in jobs where he does need to be pretty outgoing, so it must be almost like what you were talking about, where it's not so much those types of situations, but just the one-on-one stuff, you know. And he's so much older than he looks. We did a focus on with him, and I can't remember how old he is, but it was surprising. Because I was thinking this guy was like 27, 28 years old, and he's like, God, I don't remember now. I don't want to say, but he's quite a bit older than that, you know, quite a bit. And I was like, wow, dude, what's the secret? Because your skin is so, you know.
I'll tell you what the secret would have been for me, not having kids. I was tiny before I had kids.
It happens. It happens. It even happens to the dads too. It happens to the dads, just not as severe, but definitely. Scotty says at 9 p.m. my goal is to do an egg watch and have a killie hatch so I can say I did it before Laura. She's trying to beat me. 9 p.m. tonight. Next one was Zen Ginger. So no question yet, but is LJ okay with getting sappy?
Oh, I was warned ahead of time, so.
I did warn her. I'm trying to determine whether I ask my question later. 100% up to you, Zen Ginger, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the question in any way. Okay, scrolling down, the next one I see is Coral. What's up, Coral? What fish is your favorite to eat, and would you keep them?
Does shrimp count?
Sure. We'll say shrimp count.
I love fish too. I mean, I'll eat almost any kind of seafood type stuff. So,
me too.
And obviously, I really like shrimp, and I keep them. So,
coconut shrimp. We should go to a restaurant with Scotty and like a seafood restaurant because he doesn't eat seafood, and then we'd have more for us.
My husband doesn't eat seafood here, but my oldest one will eat it with me.
There we go.
We take Scotty for chicken and waffles.
Yeah, chicken and waffles. Scotty was not aware of that. But here's the thing. We were picking fun at you. I think it was in Mikey B's stream, Scotty, about not knowing, a lot of pulp culture and stuff. But the thing is, you're always honest about it. You don't ever try to say, oh, I knew all about that or anything. You just say, no, I have no clue what that is. But you want us to educate you instead of using Google. All right, next one up. Big Cat, do you believe in aliens?
Being a science person and a math type person, I think probability, there's got to be something out there. But I honestly don't think either they don't think we exist or they don't know we exist where we're at, or we're on kind of in a reserve type place where we're too primitive that they don't want, there's a law that,
Yeah, a backwater in the universe.
Yeah, kind of thing. Kind of like Star Trek.
I'm with you. I think maybe we have been visited. There's obviously I don't have any proof of that or anything, but I think they've could have at least visited us. So okay. Next up is Nathan. He wants to know, what fish are you saving for us? That means everybody gets to keep one fish. There are no other fish in the hobby. There's one type of fish in the hobby. What fish is that? Everybody has to keep the same.
Everybody has to keep.
We only have one choice for fish. That's all that's allowed to be kept in
right now, my favorite fish is the half-beaks I got. They're just so cool.
Okay. I've never had them, but I've read about them, and
they are cool. Open like that.
Yeah, like a scoop almost, right?
But no, the bottom part stays flat and the mouth part opens.
It's almost like a pelican a little bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a second part to that is what would not be allowed that's currently in the hobby that shouldn't be allowed in the hobby, or at least shouldn't be allowed for regular fish keepers. Like you couldn't go to a big box store and buy it.
Oh, you know what they should remove from like big box stores and stuff is the common plecos.
Yeah.
Because they sell them like every time I walk in there, someone's like, "Oh, I need something to help algae," and they're selling them common pleco for like,
Yeah.
you know, it's going to get huge. Because I
Yeah.
had one once and it was in a 75 and it was over a foot long. You know, they get huge.
Yeah. That was my answer too. That's it. I think same exact reason. Same exact reason. Okay, let's see. We got Nathan. Hi, Nathan. There's Zenny with what Disney character describes you best? That's a good one. I think that's the first
No,
one.
I got that one down easy.
Yeah?
Yeah. The girl from Brave, the girl with the red hair, and she's like a tomboy
Yeah.
and they want her to get married, but she's doing all the tomboy stuff. And I love
Yeah.
her. She's great.
Gotcha. And she's a great shot. So, and all of these questions that have been asked, I mention it every week because it's important to me, but a lot of these questions have been asked for 2 years now. We've been doing this for 2 years, and a lot of these questions are ones that have been in every show for 2 years, which is amazing to me because I always feel like, obviously it's my channel, it's my stream, but I always like doing these for the community, and I feel like it's a community function. And that's the community. That's it right there. Those are all the community people right there. So
I actually did shoot bow for a while before I got pregnant and had my kids too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I like Target.
I cut you off. I'm so sorry. You had more to say. So you have more. You have even more in common with what was her name?
Yeah, I can't think of her name, but that's the movie.
Merida? No, that's not. That's not it. Anyways, Mountain Greenery. Hi. Can you ask Laura if she could live in any one of her aquariums? Which one would it be? So either you are like a shrimp or a fish, or you shrunk down, but you can live in that tank. You got like a little spear gun and flippers, and it's however you want to see it. Which tank would you live in?
I probably wouldn't want to live in any of my tanks.
No,
I'm not a big plant person. Like this is my most impressive plant right here. This is a mother
that's a
plant.
crazy. That Amazon sword though is crazy.
Yeah, it's had 4 different babies for me now, and I have a couple discus in here. So this is probably my nicest tank. So it probably would be this tank. There are more pets there than anything.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But I'm not a big plant person. So I do shrimp tanks. So what I do is I have a different kind of moss in pretty much every tank. So it's more of a collecting thing than I'm not a good aquascaper. Like my shrimp tanks there are 2 pieces of cholla wood and a chunk of moss in there. So
Choya wood.
cholla wood, sorry.
Sorry. No, I can't. I shouldn't correct people's grammar ever because mine's horrible. But that's just one that's always bothered me because when people say cholo wood, well, cholos are a person. So when you say cholo wood, you're saying something totally different. And it's the choya cactus.
Even though I know it's beta, I say beta a lot just because as a science person, I'm used to saying beta for stuff.
Yeah. And I say it both ways. I don't even pay attention. And my grammar is horrible, so I shouldn't ever correct anybody. But that's one that just always sticks out to me. Damn it! You said something else too that I wanted to ask about. You were just the different mosses. Can you tell them apart by just looking at them and tell what kind they are?
Some, but I have other ones like I have to hold them like right next to each other, and then maybe I can tell a difference. But it's really hard. A lot of them are very similar, and it might be like I went to a swap and I had 3 different kinds of moss in bags, and they're like, "Well, what's the difference?" I'm like, "Well, this one grows faster. This one's a little bit darker. It's just this is more common. It's just kind of."
I cannot, and I couldn't get any of them to grow. I had the hardest time getting moss to grow. And then Priscilla gave me some, or sent some. I bought some from her. She sent me a bunch of different types, just little cups. I don't remember how many different types. And one of them took off, and now I've just got a ton of it. It's the only one out of all of them, and I have no idea what it is.
Well, the funniest thing is, for the longest time, I could not grow swassertang. And everybody's like, oh, I have so much of it, I'm giving it away, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, what the heck? Like, I can grow hooker moss and stuff, which is supposed to be pretty hard and everything like that. And when I built the rack, I actually got like the LED like shop lights for on it. Because you got several, like 3 rows I have stacked. So you don't need like the really bright aquarium lights. And it's growing like crazy now. Apparently it was too much light for it.
Priscilla did tell me that too. She said, unless you're just burning it with light, it should be fine in your water. But the other ones didn't last. But this one, I have a little shrimp tank right here. And it's just always, I constantly am pulling a bunch of it out of it. Okay, moving on. Fish for You. Hi there. What's going on? Sorry, it jumped. I gotta get caught up back to it. There's Mountain Greenery. Fish for You. There we go. Not a question, but LJ has awesome shrimp, I can attest. And Fish for You does live in your area, right?
Yeah, we actually met them at Clash. They were the table next to us, and the 4 of us, like, pretty much had a party the whole time at our tables. We were just hanging out, and we're like, look what we got, look what we got. And just, it was a blast.
I'm trying to remember where you were sitting so I could remember who was next to you.
We were at the hobbyist table against the wall. There were smaller ones.
The against the right. So when you walked into the room, it was the right-hand side. Like Gina was way at the back. Gina's
there was like an art guy, and then Tim, and then there was like a couple little ones, and then the angelfish, us, and then Dylan and Tess. They're a young couple.
Hi.
So.
Hi from the Clash. Okay. Nano Aquarium Guy, what's up, Jay? Wants to know favorite YouTuber outside of Fishfam. So do you watch anybody that has nothing to do with fishing or fish, I should say?
Yeah. Right now I'm watching a lot of Ross Clark, who does Ark survival stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I'm watching a lot of his stuff, guides, that kind of thing. Actually, when I used to, I took a break from WoW and did Star Wars MMO when it first came out.
I played that one.
Amazing when it first came out, but they dropped the ball on like group stuff, so everybody ended up like ditching it with group stuff. And I was really, really into that. We did beta testing, guides. I did streams. I was on a fan site. I was in charge of like all the new outfits, the pets, posting all that stuff. We did streams when new stuff came out. I mean, all kinds of things.
Yeah. Wow. I played that one too. Who made that? Was it Turbine? Who made the Star Wars game? I can't remember now.
It was Star Wars.
The producer.
We were into all the group, like the raids and stuff.
Yeah.
And they kind of just stopped doing it because they're like, well, we don't get as many people, but when you don't have the raiders, you don't get the other people either, you know?
Yeah. And they did some with the Jedi too, didn't they? Like nerf the Jedi or something? I sort of recall.
But you can be, and I guess now you can be like anything and everything. And it just was better at the beginning.
Yeah. I did play it for a short while. And that came out quite a few years ago.
Yeah. And I led a whole group, and we were like some of the highest on the server. And, you know, we were pretty big into it at the time.
Okay. There's Keith coming in. Hi, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. There's 53 people. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out and learning more about Laura. So the next one up is Zenny. The rest of your ideal life in 5 words. Now, it could be a sentence, you know, of 5 words, or it could just be 5 separate words that would describe the rest of your ideal life, what you want it to be. She asked good questions. And I had to do this. I had to go.
How about more? I do more something like I kind of want to do. Like, I just share this. This is kind of good. So I'm older now, and I think, you know, I'm really in all this aquarium stuff and the shrimp. And I think, man, I'm kind of older, but there's like, for the club stuff, I'm actually pretty young because there's a lot of older guys in the club.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I just want to have enough time where I can breed like something new or conserve something. So like shrimp, new conservation breeding.
Okay.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah. No, I get right where you're going. You want to have an impact. You want to have
Yeah.
a legacy. You want to leave something behind.
Yeah, like
A contribution. Maybe not
like
legacy. Maybe that's not the word.
yeah, like I was kind of advanced in my classes, and everyone thought, oh, she's going somewhere, she's going to do something. I did decent in college, and I was making a difference for a while, and then I turned into a homemaker, and everything is for my kids, and
Yeah.
now they're finally like getting out on their own, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want something for me now. Like I want to
Yes.
be known for something. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
No, it makes 100% sense. Yeah, my wife has gone through that as well. I think that's something that women have a little bit harder time with. I think guys are a little luckier that way. We don't. It's even when we're dads, it's not all about just being a dad. We get to be those other things where women a lot of times are mom. They don't
Yeah.
get to do a lot of that
Like-
as much.
My husband worked at the time. He was working long hours. He was traveling all the time. That's why I wasn't working. Most of the reason I wasn't working a job.
Yeah.
So I was the one that took them to practices, went to all their games. Like I didn't have time for anything else. So that was my life. So now
Yeah.
that I'm not doing that anymore, I'm like, I want to be somebody or do something,
Yeah. Yeah. Not just mom.
Yeah.
You'll always be mom, but you want more. You want more. And yeah, that's awesome. That is great. Okay, let's see. We got that one, and now there's a big jump again. So if I missed your message, I'm all the way down to Zenny again. So if you had a question in there, I missed it. It just wasn't popping out. I need the @Rico stand. So in case I missed it, I'm down to the last meal prison rules from Zenny. So if your question was above there, please post it down again. Prison rules. Meal, your last meal. What would your last meal? And she said include the last dessert and last beverage. So the very last thing. What's your ideal meal? But you don't have to worry about calories or any of that bad stuff because you're done.
Well, as far as drinks go, I have a little bit of IBS. I can't have alcohol. So I would love to just have a nice fruity alcoholic drink because it's the last meal, so I'm not going to get sick from it afterwards.
Yeah.
And it could be anything like that, but just, down something. As far as food, mashed potatoes and gravy, definitely for the side. I love gravy, that kind of thing. I know, let's do roast beef and mashed potatoes smothered in gravy.
I'm not a big mashed potatoes fan. I have to be in the mood for it. I would change it out with stuffing. I do love stuffing.
I don't care for stuffing, so
I could eat just a big bowl of stuffing. Scotty doesn't know it. Yeah. Dapper Dennis, hello, sir. I did respond to your email today. I apologize. I thought I had already responded to it. I wrote it and never sent it, so I responded today from that, Dennis. Dennis he'd like to know if there's somebody from history that you'd like to have a conversation with. It's a two-parter too. That's the first part. Is there somebody really from history that you'd love to sit down and have a conversation with?
Honestly, I don't think really, not really, because I've never been a big history buff.
Yeah.
Like when I did history and stuff in college, I just studied like the really ancient history, like
Gotcha.
the start of civilizations, all that. So there's not really anyone that I studied that I'd like to meet or anything.
Not even like a musician or like a movie star or nothing from like back in the day? No?
No, nothing.
Okay. That's okay. You shouldn't make something up. Yeah, no, that's a very valid answer. If you don't have anybody, it's not like you have to. So that's a very valid answer. Second part of that, is there a time that you would like to go back and visit? Like a specific era in time? Like back to the Egyptians?
Yeah, I think it would be cool to go back to like the Middle Ages a little bit, just to visit though, because I wouldn't want to live there with no flowing water and all that stuff, but just to see what it was like. And I know most of it would be bad, so it'd have to be like the higher end classes that would be associating with peons and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, the older stuff, like the older, they are older, nothing newer.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at here? Oh, Zenny. If you had to live with any fictional character 24/7, they were always there, but they're your sidekick. But they're always there too. You work with them, you live with them, they're always around. Fictional character, who would you pick to be your sidekick?
Okay, well, a little bit of backstory to this. So for those
You thought about this one. You thought about this one.
I have this one. And it's an easy answer for me. And when I explain it, you'll understand why. My gamer name is Chem Ayla. So Chem, because chemistry. And then Ayla is the character in my favorite book, which is Clan of the Cave Bear.
Oh, yeah.
And I would love to actually meet her and get to hang out with her. Like, I love that character. And there's a whole series of like 10 different books and stuff. And I absolutely love them.
Yeah, I've read those. My wife has read those, and they are inspiring for her in certain ways. So I always like when she reads them because, there's some scenes in there that, and you know what I'm talking about. And but she was definitely a strong female lead. She just she took on the world all on her own, and did all of this stuff that, and it was just, the entire world was pretty much against her the whole time, but yeah, she did what needed to be done and took care of business. And yeah. Okay. That's a good one. She'd be a great sidekick.
Yeah. Cause like you said, every time she had like she wasn't raised by humans and she had to deal with that growing up.
Yeah.
And then second book, they kicked her out and she had to take care of herself. And
yeah. And her son,
horses and, all kinds of stuff.
Her poor son got taken away from her, who was half. And yeah. Oh, hold on one second. I just got to click something here. So this next question is going to be, you got to be careful with this one because it's Star Trek or Star Wars, and it's from June. And if you say the wrong answer, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm a little bit afraid. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
So I read a lot of fictional romances, and a lot of them, the theme to them is why choose? I love them both. I grew up, I was born like when Star Wars was first coming out and stuff. I love it. I love the games. I love all that stuff. I would spend every evening with my dad growing up watching Star Trek. So I know both of them intimately. And of course, science fiction, science nerdy type, that was like my thing. So seriously, why do I got to choose? I like them both.
Yeah.
You both have good and bad points. So
you dodged the bullet. Good job. Good job. We're all right, people. It's okay. And I think that was my answer as well, because I do enjoy them both quite a bit. Star Trek is a little bit more hard sci-fi with the weapons and stuff that they have and the shielding and everything. And Star Wars is more, the space opera, but I enjoy the hell out of both of them.
Also, I do have one pet peeve with Star Wars. I will tell you this. Up until Boba Fett, I did like Boba Fett, but they need to stop making all this stuff with no Sith. Because when I played the Star Wars MMO, I was a Sith sorcerer, and it was awesome. And the Sith make the stories, and they keep removing them because they're evil and they're bad. And it's, you know how it's never that simple, Yeah. One's more emotional, and one strictly rules with no emotion, and everybody in between gray. So
yeah, but the Sith were a little bit more, they were, the younglings. I mean, he wasn't gonna take care of the younglings until he started to become a Sith, and he killed all those younglings. So, there's a little bit more evil on that side. But yes, I think that was the end goal, was to get to a point where there wasn't the separate, but that it was both combined together.
Like the whole Ahsoka thing, she's more of a gray, what they call a gray Jedi, which is in between. But now they're going all these. Like I read one of their books where it had no Jedi or Sith in it at all. And I think they did a good job with Boba Fett series, but the book, it was boring. Like I want to read about, Darth Vader and these Sith and Thrawn, and they're fighting.
Remember what book series it was? Was it like like smugglers, basically, sort of like
something
Han
like
Solo.
that.
Was it Dan Windig? I think maybe like maybe the Thrawn series. I can't remember because I read
Ron
a
is my
series.
favorite character.
Okay, it wasn't the Thrawn, but Dan Windig wrote some that did not have Jedi's in it. Really, they were just passing. They were just basically there. But I really enjoyed it. I really like Dan Windig though. He's a good. Okay, moving on. Sorry. Kalish would like to know, and hi, Kalish, your favorite road trip soundtrack. If you and Latoya are driving to the Keystone Clash and you don't feel like talking, you guys got into a fight, and now you got to listen to music. What are you listening to?
I usually put on 90s pop dance music.
Like what? What's a good example for that? Gloria Estefan? Or is that earlier? Is that 80s?
How about the last Super Bowl with all the rappers? You know, had Dr. Dre and
Okay. That kind.
Woo! All that stuff.
Okay.
I love that. I thought that was awesome that he showed up and they didn't know ahead of time.
I don't know anything about that kind of music really. I've tried, and I just don't care for it. But it's like I've always said, it's because I don't like poetry, and that's what, to me, most of rap, it's poetry set to a beat, basically. I mean, it's a simplification, but okay.
Anything I can shake my butt to, pretty much.
Okay. All right. Something that's going to get you moving. Lady Rorschach, good to see you again. Hopefully everything's getting better for you. Out of all the things there know in this world, what is something LJ really wished she understood? So, and when she says that, she's basically, you know this thing so well that you could stand up and give a talk on it at any time to any group of people and make them understand it. Like you just know it in and out. Is there a topic that you would really like to know everything about like that?
Well, right now, like one of the things about me is I love learning new stuff, which was very frustrating, like being a stay-at-home mom and stuff. So that's why the gaming. Like I love to research stuff. So right now my thing is shrimp. Like I've been watching all Grant stuff, doing more research. I have notebooks I keep for the shrimp right now. I also have ones I keep for all the gaming stuff, you know, but mostly shrimp right now. I have pictures, I have spreadsheets, I have like all kinds of stuff. I write everything down. Because like I said, I don't like to memorize stuff that I can just have there to look up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I know a lot about it. Like the name might slip my head, but I know where I can find that right now.
Yeah.
And that's part of the science background, I think, in me, you know, like researching stuff and looking stuff up and figuring it out. So right now, my big thing is the shrimp. Like my goal for next year is I want to try a saltwater shrimp tank, and I want to try to start making my own cross line of shrimp.
Ooh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Do you need to get a drink?
Yeah, I put it in here. I just did a little hiccup there.
No, it's just you sounded like, I didn't know if you had a drink right by you, and you sounded like you were your throat was starting to get dry, and I was hoping we weren't taking too much out of you. Okay, scrolling down, and that's a great question. Oh, I am at the bottom. I am at the bottom of the chat. So if I missed your question, please do the @RicoStan for me and put it down there at the bottom, and we'll wait for a few minutes. I see Chevy Fish is here in Whip's World, and June and Ivy. Oh my God. There's 56 people. Jeff Kane's here. Just look at thank you guys all for coming in and hanging out. You guys make it worth all while, it really is. It's all about you guys. So, again, though, is there anything else that you want to talk about that we didn't, that's come up maybe since we went through some things? Is there anything that you'd like to tell us about yourself?
Well, one other thing that I forgot to mention earlier just occurred to me is you asked about like YouTube channels I watch, and Viva La Dirt League is one. They do all kinds of memes about video games and stuff, and they have a channel where they play D&D, and it's their characters from their memes. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's nice. Which reminds me, Scotty mentioned about 9:00 doing an egg watch, but also if you want to watch some D&D, I think they're going tonight. They normally go at 9 p.m. in a half an hour, 9 p.m. Eastern. Chris Aquazone, they play Dungeons and Dragons on there and they stream it. So if you guys want to watch D&D and see what it's all about, they do a good job over there. Chris is a good guy. You got to meet him. He was at the Clash. So you might have got to meet him.
So many people.
I know. Yeah, there was like close to 100 of us there this year. Really, just amazing. Brookley's question is, do you have any weird physical traits? Like, can you flip your eyelids inside out? Can you wiggle your ears? Are your knees on backwards? Is there any?
So I have little holes right here in my ear.
Wait, let's put you on the. I got to move you on this side, and then I got to put you
can't see
here. Nope, that's not good.
There's a little
that's
hole
yours.
right here in both of my ears. And it's like sometimes you can get a little water in there. So I squeeze it out. But apparently from what I read, it's like a genetic disposition from when we used to have gills.
Really?
It looks like a piercing hole almost.
Yeah.
It just goes.
We can't really see it. I wish. I don't know why this one doesn't have. It's got this one, which is horrible. Puts me right in the middle. If that puts me in the middle, that's one of the bad things about this. I wonder if they let me edit.
Like a piercing hole, but it's like right here.
That is, and it's
right there.
Oh.
Can you see it, kind of?
Yeah. You're a freak.
People do. I guess a lot of people do have them. It's just one of those weird things.
I never saw that before. You didn't hear what I said, did you?
You're a freak.
Yeah. Obviously.
My husband has the biggest, rowdiest, crudest mouth. Obviously, he works for construction people, and I'm totally immune to it. So people say stuff to me like disgusting or outrageous all the time, and it's just like,
yeah,
yeah, even turn my head.
Yeah, construction. Yeah, yep. Okay. Next up is Whip. What's up, Whip? So this is one he's been asking for a very long time. So you've suddenly got all the money you could ever want. Money's no longer an issue. You never have to worry about it for you or your family. You can do anything you want. What are you doing and where are you doing it at? I love that question. I really do. I love it.
No, because it's so, I don't know, like, I guess because I'm older, I've already did some traveling and all that stuff. So it's not really, I think what I would do is I would take my girls that I told you about and take them somewhere, go somewhere, like fly them all, pay for everything and just, spend a week somewhere fancy, get pampered, catered, all that stuff.
Yeah. Pay them back for years of friendship.
I've never been on a cruise. I think I'd like to go on a cruise.
Do you? I like the idea of it, but then I think about all the germs and just all the people that get sick after a cruise, and I just don't want to. I'd like to go on a small cruise, like maybe a smaller boat, like up into Alaska or something, to see the whales or the icebergs calving or something like that. But I wouldn't want to go like on one of the massive cruise ships. I don't know.
If I had all the money in the world, I could just rent.
There you go.
A fancy yacht. Just have people pamper us the whole time.
Yeah. You could rent one of those massive cruise ships and have just all your friends on it. That's a good point. Okay, next up is Nathan. Nathan says, one tip for newbie shrimp owner and or someone looking to get into shrimp. So your best tip.
I think one of my best tips in general is don't chase your water parameters. Your water is what it is. So what you need to do is find the best kind for what your water is. And that's how my whole house works. Like, I do have Caridina and stuff now, but I have to run an RO system and all that. I could not do that in my water. It's kind of hard here. And I've had fish. This tank behind me has a couple discus in it. And I've got them at a swap in the spring. So I got them pretty cheap, mostly grown. And I got some baby rams and put them in there thinking they would be great with discus. And the rams just don't do good for me. So I'm like, well, I'm not getting any rams. So find something that just does good for you. And there are different types. Find someone with similar water helps. And crap happens. Like, I've killed off shrimp tanks, and one of my favorite ones I just got from Tim at Clash, they didn't make it, they one by one just started dropping off, and we don't know why. We don't, it just happened. I think it was the Clash. It was just too long or something. And there wasn't anything wrong with his shrimp, perfectly good, fine. I know he's a good keeper, all that stuff. just didn't like my parameters or something,
Yeah.
Just find what works for you is kind of a thing. And don't try to change stuff. I had a girl that's like, oh, my pH is this. I'm going to dump some of this in, and don't do stuff like that. It is what it is.
And a lot of people do that because they want to keep that specific type of fish. They really just got to have that fish. So I get it, but I'm the same exact way. We have incredibly hard water. We have a well here and very, very hard water. And so Neos I can do all day long. Neos do great for me, but Caradinas, it's never going to happen. It's just
you
not.
have to use RO water for them.
Yeah.
And that's how my Silhouette are too. RO water and mix. You got to start
keep
from zero.
Next up is Coral. If you could invent a new shrimp coloration, what would it look like? Custom shrimp designer, character creator.
Pink shrimp, and not the ones that are already in the hobby, if you know what I'm talking about.
I don't. Is there like a pinkish?
Dead ones.
What's that? Say it again.
Dead ones turn pink.
Oh. Sorry, I wasn't getting it. So like a bright pink.
Yes, that's a shrimp keeper joke. Sorry. Very good there.
Would you keep them? Would you call them Barbie shrimp?
Good, because you got the new Barbie movie and all that stuff now, so
it's pretty popular.
And then you got all the shrimp on the Barbie jokes. So
yeah. Paul, what's up, Paulie? Paulie's got a guy. How does it feel to not be hundreds of Ricos behind in chat? Oh, that was for me.
Here's the other one.
And what's this one's name?
This is Chipper. He's 6 months old.
Oh, Chipper.
And he's the skinny
Chipper.
LS.
Oh, hi, Chipper. Oh.
Someone just left him in, so he's climbing all over me.
There it is. That Chihuahua. And just for the record, people, again, I know I've explained this, but I enjoy being 15 minutes behind in the chat because that means I've actually read the chat and I actually engage with it. If you're just skipping through and you're always at the bottom, when you've got a lot of people there, then it's not. Although Mikey B, bottom of the chat is a thing, and he's making a song. He started it today. I don't know if he started today. He's probably already had it going. But I think he's on to something, the bottom of the chat song from Mikey B. Outside in Aquatics, what's going on? Look at him.
This one. Sorry, I had to let the dog out.
That's okay. That's all right. Now we know the answer. What are your go-to games, video games? I showed up late if you guys talked about it already. Yeah, so it was WoW, Ark, and was one more that you said that you currently play?
Those are the two.
Or was it just those two?
Right now.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, a couple of my gamer friends will get together. Like maybe once a year we'll play this for a month. And these are like my old Star Wars gamer friends. And we'll play 7 Days to Die every time something really new comes out on there. And we'll just play it straight for like 3 weeks and not play it again for like another year.
I do sort of miss the MMOs though. When I played Asheron's Call, we beta tested it too. It was in 98, I think. And then it came out in 99, or it might have been 99 and 2000. I can't remember. But there was nothing like that. I mean, EverQuest had just come out. So the very first EverQuest had just come out. But there really wasn't, I had never experienced a game like that. And I was just so, just amazed. Like there's these things called drudges that are like a cat person, and they have this very loud screeching meow. So you're running through the forest and there's nothing around you. And all of a sudden you hear this meow, and you're like, what the hell was that? The very first time, it scares the shit out of you. And I do sort of miss that, discovering the games for the first time. That being in a different world. No D&D tonight, Scotty said. Okay, all right. Lady Rorschach says this question has probably been asked, but I need to know what LJ's favorite shrimp is, whether she breeds it or not. Is that the Silhouette? Say it for me.
Right now are the Cardinal Silhouette. So I'm sure you've seen all kinds of memes and videos of the red shrimp with the little white paws, and they're like dancing, like do, 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 do. That's what those are. I'll have to send you the one video I have. That's funny. He's like, and they're like doing those little dance moves.
Let's see. Zen Ginger said my son has one of those holes. He's got one of the ear.
Yeah. It's like a genetic thing.
Nano Aquarium Guy Jay says she has to spend a year on a deserted island. She can take one book, one movie, and one TV show. Which are they? One of each you get to bring. What are you bringing?
Movie, Ella Enchanted.
Really?
I like that movie.
Yeah.
Fairy tale, singing.
Yeah.
Not singing, but fairy tale. Every girl's dream. Meeting a prince.
Who's the main star in that one? It's oh God. Somebody will tell us. I know. I can see her face.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your movie, TV show, and book. Harder choices.
I'd probably take Clan of the Cape Bear because it's a long book and it's rereadable kind of thing. I think I've read it more than once. Anne Hathaway, all the singing that is just, and it's funny. It's like a realistic princess movie.
Yeah, with all the singing, that's the part that gets. I don't care for
show. Okay, I got to throw something a little different in there for the show. So I've got like the romance comedy. And I've got the more serious historical thing because the Clan of the Cape Bear has a lot of historical type stuff and everything.
Yep. Yep.
So we're gonna go horror. I'm gonna say the series of Ash versus the Evil Dead because I love the cheesy horror stuff. Yeah,
I don't like horror, but I like that because that's fun. It's fun. All the different stuff. Yeah. What's the? He's not really a sidekick, but the younger guy, Jeff.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Yeah. That's a good choice. I was having a hard time with that. I was thinking maybe New Girl for the TV show. I really like New Girl. I think it's just hilarious, but that's a good choice. I don't know. There's so many. I mean, there's just so many good TV shows. My husband wants to know what guild LJ was in SWG in Star Wars. And thank you, Lady Rorschach.
Well, it was my guild. So if you're in it, you would have known who it was. The character's Kim Ayla. And when all the server transfers got done, we had a big naming thing. And of course, I ended up with Best Idea. And it was called Hail Scroob, which if you watch Spaceballs, Hail Scroob.
Nice. That's a good one too. Spaceballs. That'd be a good movie for that. Okay, so Stephen White. How did I miss all of these, Lady Rorschach? I am so sorry. Were they from way earlier in the stream or something? I don't know how I missed all of these unless it just jumped on me. Stephen White. Hi, Stephen. And thank you, Lady Rorschach, again. What has been the happiest moment of your life so far? Happiest moment. That's hard.
Yeah. I think we're going to go from extremely upset to happiest, like the big jump from one to the other.
Sure. He just said, what's the happiest moment, but you can.
Yeah, that kind of helps me clarify a little bit. And I would say that would have been time with my girls from college. Because sometimes when I've gotten with them, I've been really, really at a low, horrible spot. And then I get with them and I'm just totally flipped around and feel so much better and everything's right in the world again.
That's awesome. That's great. Just being able to recharge around people that care about you, and that's good. I like that one. I just happened to see this one from June. Is she a negative blood type?
I think I'm AB positive, but I'm not 100% sure.
I have no idea. My wife knows what I am.
I know is that the only reason anyone ever told me it, I think, was when I was pregnant the first time, and I very vaguely think.
Yeah, and that's how I found out too. I wasn't pregnant, but Michelle was, and I think that our blood types were the combination that she had to have the what's that start with? It's a not roomy. Whatever the shot is, it starts with an R. I forgot what it is. That because it could cause a problem with the different blood types together. Okay. Whip. Where's Whip? Where's Whip? It jumped on me again.
Oh, I have an interesting fact about me that people might find interesting.
Yes, let us know.
So, my grandfather on my mom's side was really, really into doing the ancestry and all that stuff. And I am actually a daughter of the American Revolution, which means one of my ancestors can be tracked back. And I have a whole big binder on this that he was actually a blacksmith. You can hear the dog.
Yeah.
He was actually a blacksmith or metal worker that was supplying the American Revolution with like guns and bullets and things like that. So I think that's an interesting fact.
Yeah. I don't, we're not going to get it. Let's see. Whip also is a Star Wars fan, the far superior sci-fi series to all others. In The Last Jedi, when Luke dies, what do you think actually killed him? Was it beauty that killed the beast? So in The Last Jedi, when Luke dies, what do you think actually killed him?
I think it's more kind of like when Obi-Wan died. It was just kind of like, hey, it's my time. It's now their time. And you know how he just gone. I think Luke kind of did the same thing. Like, my time's done. It's time for the next generation. Just
imagine how beautiful that would be for humans if that's how things were done. Like, there wasn't all the pain and suffering. Well, there might be, but you just know that person is in a better.
Well, they do know that because the Force, that's their. Suppose you get to that level, you understand the Force and everything, and okay, I'm now becoming one in the Force. They're trained. I did my job. They're ready to take over.
I can feel it. It is time. That'd just be amazing if humans had that ability. Does LJ plan on selling shrimp? Asking for a friend. Well, you do, but you're just not currently, because you go ahead. I'll let you talk.
I just don't have the numbers right now. So I had a bunch of stuff at Clash. And like I said, I do currently have a lot of Celeste, but you can't send them in the winter. So I have at least over 50 in that tank for sure, 10-gallon tank. And but my numbers are just down. I just went to so much. And then being involved, like at Clash, I got to meet Crypt and Grant, and we were all hanging out, all the shrimp, and Mark Shelley, and all the shrimp people were all hanging out and stuff.
Need to do that. Okay. What time is it? Oh yeah, we're still good. Favorite sandwich from Dapper Dennis. Favorite sandwich? Are you a sandwich fan?
Yeah, I'm like a turkey ham and roast beef with American.
What condiments?
No lettuce. That's pretty much it.
No mustard, no mayonnaise.
No, I don't like mustard, mayo, that kind of stuff. Now I love like cheese and gravy and that kind of thing, but not into the ketchup, mustard, mayo.
Gotcha. Wow, I don't think I've ever met anybody that doesn't really like condiments. So you've got gills and you're weird.
I'm the least picky out of all my sisters. They wouldn't even
really
touch half the stuff I eat. Like I eat all kinds of seafood and that kind of thing. And even my husband's like a chicken nuggets and fries guy,
You're married to Eric Wyrock? That's his thing. That's his dino nugget.
More like Scotty because he won't eat vegetables
either. I like pretty much everything. I like food. I just enjoy all the different flavors and textures and all that kind of stuff. Food is and it's not like I eat all day long. What I have today, I had a bagel and I had a bagel. Jesus. How am I so fat? How am I so fat? It's because I don't move. That's why I'm so fat, because I don't move. Because I've eaten a bagel and 3 glasses of water today. That was it. I need to eat something. All right, scrolling down. Hi Sal, what's going on? LJ finally made it. Hi everyone. Oh, and Matt said something too that made me laugh. Where was it at? Where was that at? It was something about, can you please walk all the shrimp at the Keystone Clash so they don't stay so long? Oh, there it is. Jenna, can you please walk all the shrimp this year at the Clash so I don't have to be in the bag so long? Make it so, Jenna. I can just see her out there walking all the shrimp. Okay. Next one I have down to Chevy Fish saying hi. And then Outside In says, anyone into Fallout? Yes, I don't play Fallout 76, but I like all the other Fallout games. I didn't play Fallout Strategy. I didn't play that one, but I played Fallout 1 and 2, and then I played 3 when it finally came out, and 4, the New Vegas. I love the Fallout series. Have you ever played any of those?
I haven't, but my kids are really into console games, so they're more into they've played that a little bit. They're really into the shooters and stuff. My husband, the only thing he really plays is baseball, like sports stuff. And that's it.
Yeah.
So when we first got together, we really butted heads a lot because he would watch TV and I'd rather go back and get on my computer. And he's like, "Well, are you on the computer all the time?" I'm like, "Well, it's no different than you watching the TV all the time."
Yeah. It's even better for you than the TV. The TV is just, you're not interacting. You don't get to choose so much. With the computer, you can learn stuff. And I said the wrong thing the other day about how Michelle listens to a lot of audiobooks right now because she can't read. She can read. Wait. Let me. I'm going to get myself in more trouble. She definitely can read. She's very literate, but she has to do audiobooks. She doesn't have time to read the books. She does the audiobooks on her trip. And I just mentioned, that's great that that you're doing so many, but it's not like reading a book where it's different. You're picking up different vocabulary. You're picking up different things. You're using more imagination. It's not the voice. Listening to an audiobook is closer to watching a movie. And that was not the right thing to say at all.
I read every night before I go to bed. It's kind of like my unwind thing to falling asleep.
And what do you read? You mentioned romances and stuff. Yes, very much so.
Right now, I'm really into sci-fi, fantasy, romance.
So, give us an example of that. Is there a title that we can look up real quick that you're not too embarrassed about?
It's embarrassing, but right now I'm reading some alien romances, which you kind of meet from another planet, and they don't have a lot of females, so they think they treat you like a goddess and all this stuff. So
there's not a lot of tentacles and stuff involved, though, right?
No, not the hentai.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't want to say it, but and no judgment if there is. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, let's get going then. I think we might. Maybe it was a jump in the stream. Well, thank you so much, Lady Rorschach, for getting the messages. I hate when I miss them, but I know that I miss a lot of messages every time. No, I'm not in top chat. I did see that. Jeff, I think, said that. There we go. Top chat. Yeah, I'm not. I am. Chat is okay. I'm in live chat. Maybe it jumped. If she was trapped in open water, here we go, from Zenny. If she was trapped in open water, would she rather fight off 1,000 shrimp-sized great white sharks or one great white-sized shrimp?
I don't think the shrimp would hurt me because they usually don't bother live stuff. So I think,
I
would rather have the big shrimp.
In this instance, it's a very aggressive shrimp. That makes it work.
We're going to go for the giant shrimp just because if I beat it, then I could cook it and eat what's left. Kind of like Will Ferrell's Land of the Lost when they kill the crab and then they're eating the crab claws and in the hot pool. I
love that. And my favorite part was the big mosquito on his back and it just sucked him dry. And he was totally just pale and he fell back on it. Yeah. I wasn't pregnant, Benjamin. Hi, Victor. Hi, Aquatic. Hello. And I'm scrolling down. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, we got 6 minutes left tonight. I don't know if Eric Wyrock is going tonight or not. A lot of times he does stream. Not a lot. 10:30 Eastern time. I'm hoping that he's going tonight. If you see Eric, if Eric's here, you need to stream, dude. You need to stream. Would you rather eat venison or bison?
I have eaten venison. I have not eaten bison, but I would think neither one would bother me. If it's a meat type thing, I would even be willing to try snake or something, which I've never had. For me, that wouldn't bother me. For me, it's more of a texture thing. Like
Gotcha.
I love pumpkin cake, cookies, gobs, but I don't like pumpkin pie because of the texture.
Texture. Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
As long as it's like meaty, I think I would like it.
Bison is really good. I used to live in Arizona. I worked for a grocery store chain called Bash's, and Bash's had their own herd of buffalo. And at the time, you couldn't get it anywhere else because they were just the buffalo were just coming back to where you could actually, harvest them and stuff at the time. So he was one of the few places you could ever get it, and it was very limited, and it was delicious. It was so good. Something about those endangered animals just make them taste so good. Just kidding. Consuming water isn't eating. Sure it is. It's still filling you up. I don't normally do that. So, okay. We're just about done. Yeah, we got a couple more minutes. So Nathan just wants to say thank you for coming up and doing the focus on. It was a lot of fun learning about you, and I look forward to having conversations and chat throughout the year. Well, thank you, Nathan, for being here. And when she gets to the end of her life, here we go. I did miss it, so I must have missed some questions. I'm so sorry for anybody that I missed. It jumped a few times on me. I'm not sure how I missed them. So I definitely missed it, Zen Ginger. And anybody else who's got the questions, we still got a couple minutes left. You can throw them in real quick. When you get to the end of your life and someone from your past is there to greet you, who would you like it to be, and what do you want to hear them say? And if this one gets to you, it's okay, because it's made grown men cry.
No, I know what I'd answer this, because it would be my dad, because he just passed away like 2 years ago.
Oh.
And he loved going to the kids' sports and everything. And it was really sudden. Like, he had diabetes, and he came to one of Gavin's basketball games over the summer, and we just, watched the game. And I'm like, he's like, I'm just gonna grab something to go home, instead of like, sometimes I'd ask him to go eat with us and stuff. And the next day I got a call that he'd passed.
Oh.
His sugar got too low, and he just didn't wake up, like, out of nowhere.
Wow.
And I would like to see him, and because it was really hard, because then that year after that was Gavin's senior year, and he didn't get to see him play.
Yeah.
Football and basketball that year, and that really would have, been nice.
Damn it, Zenny. Every time.
And I was, like I said, I was the oldest of the girls. Sisters that are 2 years younger than me were twins. So you can imagine, I'm 2, and my mom has twins. So it was kind of like, go with your dad, you know what I mean? Because she was busy with them. So I was pretty much, with my dad all the time.
Gotcha. Yeah. Do you think you were the closest out of the girls with your dad then, because of that?
Probably, and that's the main reason. Yeah. And I was the oldest, so I did all the stuff with them. And and he was in the sports. He actually coached and stuff. So like, when I was in junior high, he coached. And when I was in high school, he would umpire and stuff. And of course, if there was anything borderline, then I was out,
Yeah. Above like reproach.
Yep. Like, they actually, some of the schools would let them umpire the games, even though I was playing, because they knew, if anything, he'd be harder on me than everyone else.
Gotcha. Yeah. Are you close with your sisters too? Are you guys pretty close? Do they all live around you, or are they spread out, or?
Not as much. I think that's part of it too. Like, I've always been a lot more independent. And I think that was a big reason too. I think because my parents were so busy, because the twins. Yeah. And my one sister's special needs of the twins.
Okay.
So, like, not real bad. Like, she went to school and, well, for a while could drive and stuff, but it still was extra, Yeah. I was always kind of like on my own a lot more. So like, and that was kind of into the fish thing too, because we had a creek out back of the house. So I'd go out there and just, sit on a log and watch the fish and just do my thing. I was always more of a loner in the family, if that makes sense. And was more, I guess, more independent in the family.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. I'm a middle child, but Same thing though. I went off from the family and never looked back, basically, and but I wasn't close. So, anyways, we got a couple more. Skipper, hi Skipper. Would you rather have unlimited money or unlimited health? So you'd live forever, or have all the money, never run out of money for your entire life.
I think I would go with the money, because the money could treat a lot of the things, or you could bring things to you that you couldn't have if you weren't as good, if that makes sense. And you could help people out that you cared about.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah. I mean, you could change the world with unlimited money. You basically could, because it sounds like, well, but plus living forever doesn't sound appealing when all of your family and friends are gone. I mean, you always make new friends, but your extremely close loved ones, like your husband and your kids, and everybody's gone, and that's no fun.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I said, it's hard for me to make friends as is. So if I didn't even have the ones I do have, that would really, really be tough. And I've had times where I've needed like my husband with me to pull me out of like a depression or something like that. Because he can be like super funny and dorky and, bring that out on me when I'm having a really bad time. And he understands if I'm having a really bad time, that it's okay.
Yeah.
And, he's there if I need him, kind of thing.
Yeah. You're lucky that way too. I've also have that. I'm extremely lucky in some ways. Yes, I do see that, Skipper. Do you see this? That is all. And we are at the 9 o'clock mark. So again, if I missed some, I apologize. Laura, thanks so much for hanging out with us for 2 hours. Before we go real quick, because sometimes things come up that you feel like you'd like to tell people. Is there anything that we didn't, or any memory that we jarred loose from the end?
No, I think we're pretty good, because the things that did pop in, like I got in when I talked to you. So I think we're pretty good. And if anybody does have another question to ask, they can ask me on Sunday.
Yes, with Skipper. She'll be over there with Skipper on Sunday at, God, I'm so sorry, Skipper. I always forgot. I feel like it's 6 p.m. I feel like it's 6 p.m. On Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, I believe. It's on Skipper's channel. You know where to look for it. So, okay, Skipper's got. Okay, gotcha. And thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks, doggies. Oh, I just want to. He's so cute.
He's licking me with his poop tongue.
So we don't currently have a guest for this Saturday. I'm not sure if Skipper's going to stream or I'm going to stream or Ed. We haven't talked about it yet, so we'll work all that out. So the next Focus On right now is not scheduled. I have a few up in the air, so it'll be probably next Tuesday, and and then we'll also have Latoya, Laura's best friend, sometime this month. We got to work out the time. So thanks everybody. See ya.
Bye.
I'm clicking buttons now. Bye, doggy.